I'm being hounded by the IRS. What the f-
Welcome and welcome back to the channel, my friends. With so many absolutely insane and often side-splitting outings into goofy RPGs of the early 2000s.
Stop right there, or it gets...
Who would have thought that one of the most insane experiences yet to explore was released just a few years ago? With 2022's So Whoop-Ass, created by an indie team of just 2 people, and a game that describes itself as a jab at try-hard, overly serious games, and a hack and slash to avoid if you hate fun. Well, today we will uncover the truth, diving into this bonkers action RPG, getting a look at its bizarre moments, while leaving enough in case you want to try it out for yourself.
Magical boner. Which coincidentally in his adult years is actually Harry Potter's stripper name.
A game that made me double take even so many videos in with these goofy RPGs. My name's MitchManix, and this is So Whoop-Ass. So Whoop-Ass opens setting the stage, introducing the main antagonist of the game, the Immortal, who is, quote, busy with evil deeds, which apparently includes mini-golf. As the game's narrator explains, no evil wizard is complete without an annoying sidekick that bursts into the room with dire news.
My lord, the experiment has escaped, he pants.
Indie developers. I mean, who would have a conversation when the character's mouth doesn't even move?
I will kill you.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Fine, alright.
With the Immortal telling his lackey to double down the defenses, it's time we meet the hero of this journey. Flashing back 10 minutes to see just how our hero escaped this prison, after a slight mishap from a trainee mob, leading to him showing up with a bang. Now in control of our newly escaped hero, So Whoop-Ass heads outside his cell to pick up our first power, by way of another of this game's jabs at modern gaming.
Every hero has a sidekick that, for no apparent reason, has a superpower that will aid the hero in solving critical puzzles. We picked Lucy for this mission. Will her backstory and how she ended up at this convenient location be explained? Probably not.
Supernatural power obtained that enables us to use a special vision that sometimes reveals some secrets. Taking only a few steps, we uncover a tiny gnome stuck in a cage that after releasing runs around like a toddler in a sugar rush. A sight that I have to admit I found far too funny.
What the fuck? Oh, he's stuck. He's got stuck. Oh, oh. It's the feet. Oh, he's gone. He's gone! Oh no. Did I need that?
These little guys are actually the game's healing system, chomping down on garden gnomes to heal our hero, which is fantastic. Since I spent so much time laughing at it, the little guy disappeared. Making our way out of the dungeon, we come across the first of the game's weapons on offer, opening a chest to find a sword that So Whoop-Ass is so keen to try out that he immediately stabs himself in the foot. Weapons are not all we can seek out in the prison, as after breaking open some pots we find one of the game's 3 types of amethyst shards, used for upgrading our arsenal.
Oh, what is this? Apparently it can be used to purchase fast weapons, such as swords, from the blacksmith.
Okay, I'm going to make a prediction that this blacksmith is going to be utterly ridiculous. Speaking of utterly ridiculous, rounding the corner we encounter a group of orcs having trouble connecting to the castle Wi-Fi. And that's not a joke, that's literally what's happening. With this being an opportunity we cannot resist, slamming down the razor-sharp ceiling fan to dice them up, as well as it seems set off the castle alarm system. But I can't help but feel reminds me of something. Grabbing ourselves some more upgrade materials, and trying not to fall into another giggle pit over the garden gnomes.
It's definitely the feet.
We get a better look at So Whoop-Ass's combat system, with blocks, dodges that double as a stagger used for crushing foes. So far at least. Making our way out of the prison we come across one of the primary mechanics of So Whoop-Ass, that being his wide array of hats to collect, each providing the player with a buff, with our first being a propeller hat reducing fall damage. With so much silliness, the prison isn't without its challenges, with So Whoop-Ass coming across some pretty spicy trials when attempting to get out to freedom. Touché, developers. Touché. Making it past, we find the second weapon type of the game, a staff.
Woohoo! You got yourself a magic stick, filled to the brim with the awesome burning fury. Press button to switch to it and release the destructive force of a slight cough.
Okay, I don't know why I didn't see that one coming.
Finally blasting out of the prison, it seems Sir Whoopass has been a bit overzealous, finding that he's accidentally caused a bit of collateral damage, speaking with the ghost of a recently squished leader of a local guild, named Melisande, who's understandably pretty pissed at our hero, demanding Whoop puts together a concoction to resurrect her, with ingredients he can find in the village up ahead, giving us her mace to assist us. Making our way into the town, of course putting our new mace to good use, and introducing ourselves to the local animal population.
Okay, what are you doing there, buddy? With a top hat on? Really?
Gathering the ingredients, Whoop enters the town's tavern to attempt to resurrect the guild leader. A tavern filled with all manner of ridiculousness, including, a cat that apparently finds Sir Whoopass's name hilarious.
Sir Woof?
With now the ingredients in hand, Sir Whoopass resurrects the guild leader Melisande, although on brand, screwing it up a tad, leaving her a little battered. Still pissed, Melisande reveals a bit about the Immortal, the evil wizard that had previously imprisoned us, and most importantly reveals that to beat him we will need to track down the pieces of the aptly named villain-beating artifact, sending us away to begin by getting some new gear from the blacksmith, or blacksmith, getting a chance to see if my predictions were in fact true.
That's not too bad. Maybe I was wrong. Just kidding. Good lord.
This total nightmare of a blacksmith allows us to pick up our first upgrades, ready to head out into the world and track down the pieces of the villain-beating artifact, making sure to put some of the stray cats in the village to use, whipping up some cappuccinos that provide a tasty buff on use.
Oh, okay, now I kind of feel bad.
Wandering out into the open world, we pick up some of the game's usable items, coming in the form of typical offerings such as throwable bombs, and not so typical options, such as missile foe, that when thrown at an enemy will stop them in their tracks, overcome with the urge to kiss themselves, because reasons. Along with the main quest, we also find that Sir Whoopass has a few side quests to dive into, as we see here finding Little Red Riding Hood, who, arming us with the flamethrower 6000 Bane of the Marshmallows, asks us to escort her to her grandmother's house, which goes about as well as you might expect. Regardless, Sir Whoopass fights through the skellies of various types, such as magical and sneaky boners, with the latter being why I'm no longer allowed on buses, eventually arriving at Little Red's grandmother's, who is either briefly busy practicing for her entry in the land's annual Queefing Olympic Games, or simply has a haunted vagina. At this point it could be either, which goes along nicely with the first bit of genuinely terrifying looking facial animations, ironically enough occurring with no spoken dialogue at all. As you might expect, Grandma does not take the news of Little Red's death very well. Going down so badly, in fact, she doubles in size, stuffs herself in a barrel, and attempts to destroy Sir Whoopass, with him resorting to unintentionally T-posing the raging granny with some missile foe before smashing her into oblivion. Filled with pride, smashing down his foe, when exiting we find a coin machine that for a moment I thought may have been a developer oversight before getting a sharp reminder of what I was playing.
Can I just keep doing this? Ah ha! Money exploit! Indie developers.
Getting back to business, following a dubious smell, we find ourselves in...
Oh, a sewer level. How original. Let's rip this band-aid off quickly and get it over with, I guess.
It's in the sewers that we find some expected and not so expected sights, such as an ominous red balloon giving a bit of foreshadowing into what might be sneaky bonering around in the dark depths.
Is this what's called foreshadowing?
As well as, well... As to why this is here, I've got nothing. Genuine. Exploring further, we encounter Penny Dumb, which, let's be honest, I feel like they could have done a little better with. And after finding out that he is immune to the T-posing effects of missile foe, we have to take him out the hard way, or to the excruciatingly close sound of kisses, which is an odd experience indeed. Not helped by the fact that I'm not exactly an enjoyer of ASMR, as far as it makes me want to pull my balls off with my bare hands and put them in my eyes, making these kissing sounds the real evil encounter, for me at least.
I can't!
Overcoming the elements of the obligatory sewers, before Sir Whoopas can even catch his breath, one of the most bonkers and unexpected of foes reveals itself. That's right, we are tracked down by a worker from the IRS, demanding we pay taxes on the gold we've acquired so far in our adventure, with Sir Whoopas of course doing the right thing, and refusing, running away like a coward, before being battered by the crown-toting tit.
Oh, God. Well, pay your taxes, kids. Or a tiny man with a crown will hit you with a briefcase.
Pulling himself together, we find a portal taking us to a not-so-secret portal in the sky, a place that would be able to take us directly to the mini-golf-enjoying immortal. But we find out that it's protected by a force field blocking our entrance. So instead return to Melisande, who advises us to talk to the goddess.
The goddess is our all-knowing creature that conveniently helps us whenever we're in trouble, Melisande said. But ever since the incident, she hasn't been very chatty.
Oh my god, they didn't put that in here, did they? Seeking out this goddess, we find that she is quite the sight indeed, looking more like a Fortnite-sponsored memorial than a goddess, with her even admitting that she looks ridiculous, and tasks us with getting some grease for her, which we track down to receive a substantial upgrade with the jetpack. And with the goddess explaining that to access the lair of the immortal we need to break the chains holding up the castle in the sky, and to break the portal we found earlier, to enter various dungeons located around the land. So while delving into the dungeons, we unlock a number of upgrades for Sir Whoopas's arsenal, such as powerful magic attacks. And of course some obscure options, featuring the ability to
turn Kyle into a chicken.
Of course, also held inside these dungeons are a wide array of hats to unlock, from the typical fedora increasing magic damage, to the Liberty hat that reloads Whoop's ammo when out of combat. How patriotic. Tracking down and taking on these mini dungeons are at the core of Sir Whoopas's gameplay loop, while of course trying not to double take too often at some of the lunacy around.
What the fuck?
Each of these dungeons has its own big boss battle at the end to take on, from a giant vampire bat to... with none of these, as you might expect, being too much of a challenge, all falling to the might of Sir Whoopas. Moment-to-moment gameplay in the game consists of smashing down a range of alternative enemy types, while swapping out one of 3 weapons available, to smash through a shield or penetrate a magical barrier. Sir Whoopas also has a large amount of puzzles of different forms, to take on to progress or snag a weapon upgrade, from puzzles you could find on a phone in the 90s, to more elaborate varieties found in the game's dungeons, with all of them being pretty light on challenge, allowing for a mostly uninterrupted pain train.
Well, for the most part at least. Ah, no, you're not getting me this time. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake, it was even in time with the music. Yeah. Oh.
With after some progressing leading to Sir Whoopas picking up some of the pieces of the villain-defeating artifact, along with breaking the chains on the Immortal's domain. Built in the Unity engine, Sir Whoopas does have some nice-looking environments, with some environments featuring some genuinely nightmare fuel-infused locations, such as here with a bunch of possessed dolls. As the story unfolds, along with leveling up to get a chance at assigning stat points, getting even more upgrades from the blacksmith. Further upgrades can be found in chests to add even more punch to Sir Whoopas's weaponry, within the latter half of the game getting so strong that we can even get some revenge on a certain crown-toting taxman.
Haha, take 40% of this, punk!
Once the dungeons have been cleared and the trials overcome, the chains now broken, we uncover the villain-defeating artifact that, along with its assumed death by diabetes, has quite the item description. Now the time has come, after getting around the bouncer, to delve into the lair of the Immortal himself, a lair featuring the slowest boulder trap in human existence. As well as a difficulty spike so severe I had to revisit the tavern for a spot of Flappy Night to calm myself down. Visiting the blacksmith to pick up the holy shit, the final battle is upon us, and after coming out victorious, we are given an ending that I won't spoil in case you plan on picking up the game yourself. But safe to say it's just as silly as you would expect from a game featuring a knight wearing a propeller hat whizzing around on a hovercraft wearing a full suit of armor. In all, Sowapas is a palate-cleansing hack and slash that, along with some of the most ridiculous things I've seen in an action RPG, is most certainly filled with jabs at all sorts of other pop culture and gaming trends. Very much the GOAT simulator of the RPG genre, and a great distraction if you're after some laughs and something to blast through purely for fun. Although only 10 or so hours, Sowapas has some genuinely laugh-out-loud moments, and is an impressive endeavor considering it was developed by only 2 people, one that I won't be forgetting anytime soon. If you enjoyed this look into Sowapas, then why not check out the full insanity-filled playlist into dives into similar legendarily weird and wonderful RPGs of yesteryear, on screen now. Huge thank you to my patrons and channel members as always. If you're interested in full-length bonus videos and behind the scenes, the link to the channel Patreon page is down in the description, along with the free channel Discord filled with the dopest RPG community on the internet, so get on in there. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.